leadership skills. It challenged my personal life as a leader. I mean, that was quite an eye-opener. I don't think anyone would have exposed me to the realities of leadership the way that book exposed me to. And I would want to encourage us. I don't know how many copies we have, but we will have them tomorrow. That if you happen to land on that book, please do not leave it. Pick it. So after I finished that book, the next book I read was Integrity, the Litmus Test to Good Leadership. And of course, a friend came and went away with it. I still bought another one. I said, it is a gift for you. Another came and went with it. I gave it to him. A student also picked the third one. I have never missed that book on my shelf. And as long as, by the way, I don't give out my personal books, but anytime someone comes for that book, I release it. I just tell them, yeah, you can go, because I know I can get another copy, yet I know that they would be blessed. And of course, I've read many others. And even the other day, I landed on a new book that he has written on resolving conflicts in your marriage and the game of marriage, And that's quite an eye-opener. Of course, we are doing it with my wife. And one of the quotes that gripped us is that you can have conflict as a couple. But when you're having that conflict, when you're fighting, protect your marriage. And I think that's something that was quite so real for us. So if you interact with his books, it's something that really you want to read. Today I went to pick him in the airport. I'm one of those drivers who is always overtaking, the yellow line, what. But I knew that if today I attempt to, overtake on a yellow line, he will ask me, because he's a champion of what we call integrity. And when you read his books, you see that reflected in him. And even as I was summoning myself to be very careful as I am driving, I was telling myself, this is the influence that someone can have in your life. That, they are not talking, but already their life is speaking to you, even when you're right there with them. And that to me was so real. And I was even asking myself, so why is it that today I'm so careful in the way I'm driving, and then not those other times? It means there's something in me that still needs to be shaped up. So just as you're looking forward to listen to him this afternoon, it's the very same way I'm looking forward to listen to him. And I have never been tired. He's an author. He has wrote many books, some of which I have mentioned. There is Finding a Life Partner. There is the character and influential of an influential leader. The Leaders as a Steward. Daily Meditations on Spiritual Disciplines. A Leader's Work Ethic. Secret of Contentment. The Pragmatic Leader. There are so many books that he has actually written. In my car, I have a number of these. That is the book of Exodus, Daily Meditations. So in case you need it, it goes for 600 shillings. In case you need it, please pick it. That is just a few months and a few lunches away from moving this book, and you're going to bring the rest, including Christianity and Culture, a topic that he's going to handle tomorrow. His name is John Nganga. He has got quite a wide profile. Of course, he doesn't boast about his profile. I know him as a down-to-earth person, but he is one person who has spoken in Christian unions from the year 1970-something until to date. John Nganga is always right there in our Christian union speaking. And so it's my pleasure, it's my honor to invite him. And may we appreciate him even as I make a prayer. We are grateful, Lord. We thank you for Brother John, whom you have brought to minister to us this day. We ask that he will be a blessing for this weekend, O God. And so may you speak to us, Lord, even as he speaks to us. And may you convict us, O God, and then help us, Father, to be gripped by your word for a transformation of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray.
So even without a mic, is somebody Nobody's recording. I use a mic. I obey. But God gave me a very loud mouth. I am told we are many CUs. Who is from the farthest point? From here. The CU from the farthest. Is Lodwa here? Is there a Christian Union in Lodwa? No? Okay. Which are the CUs from Kitale? Within Eldoret. And they are this big. Wow. So how many campuses are we having?
We have one from Kitale actually.
We have a CU from Kitale. So about how many? Oh, even a 10. So how many CUs are represented here?
We have
5 CUs. Okay, if there are 5 CUs, then I want to donate to your library. Do you have CU libraries? Do you have? No, I'm not talking about a store. A store is the place you place buy books. A library is where the books are never seen. They just keep changing. Is yours a store or a library? But I do not want to donate to a store. I want to donate to a library. Okay. So we accept you have a library. So since Everton believes that the book you must not miss is Leadership in David Style, and that was written, must be, the notes were prepared in the late 1990s. So it's not a new book. I'll donate the book, Leadership in David Style, to every CU library. How many CUs are within your region, including Kitale and Lodwa? How many are there? Who are in the regional committee? Who is the regional secretary? The one who spoke is outgone. Or is it outgoing? How many CUs are there? Please stand up so that I hear the voice. Who is speaking? I can't hear. How many are there? Around 17. I'm calculating whether I have enough money. That's why I'm looking for the number. So basically, if I was to give Leadership David Style, I need enough money to cover 17 books. Is that correct? Okay. Then pray that I have enough. My pension is enough to cover that. So I'll give Leadership David Style. I'll give the integrity, the late masters of good leadership. Those who have read books. I'm only giving 3. Would you like finding a life partner? Yes. So I'm going to send enough money to Everton, and then his job would be to ensure every CU has those 3 books. Okay? Now please promise me it will not go to a store, it will go to a library. I still remember being, I was a CU chairman 1975, and and in our time we were not asked which CU, because you see, once you say university CU, there was only one. So you can be asked which campus, but there was only one university in our time. And there was a book every CU chairman was expected to read by Oswald Sanders. And it really shaped my mind on leadership. So when you are reading Leadership in David Style, I'm also taking from the lessons as a CU chairman in 1974. It will be 2 years to make 50 years since I was a CU chairman. 74, I had 3 jobs. I was the prayer secretary, the Bible study coordinator, and I also used to be called external correspondence secretary. I was doing 3 jobs. Because we had a small CU for one person to do 3 different tasks. And it is the leadership books that I read that have shaped my leadership. And of course, I've been out of campus for more than 45 years and have led in many places. It is the thing of being a CU leader. All of you are CU leaders, am I right? That really helped me. Let me give you 3 views. That's not my topic. But it's important to understand why I regard you as a very, very important group. And I did not need to be persuaded to come. I knew I'm coming to a very important thing. To be a CU leader, number 1 is a privilege. Let me tell you 3 reasons why it's a privilege. For God to pick you out of 1,000 students to lead them, whatever your position in leadership, it means he wants you not to backslide. You know, some people backslide, you say, why are they backsliding? You see, as you chairman backsliding, you have to make quite a big effort. Am I right? You know, in the dining hall, everybody is looking at him. He goes somewhere, how can you do that? And you are the CEO, chairman. One privilege of going to leadership is that you are not allowed to do what other people are doing because everybody's eye is on you. And I was born again more than 50 years ago. I keep wondering, if I was a backbencher Christian, would I be a Christian today? I am grateful to the Lord for allowing me way back in 1874 to be a leader in the Christian Union. Because it has, you know, almost any direction I go, I meet somebody who said, do you remember you are a CU chairman? I used to be the manager of Shell for Western region. My office was in Kisumu, 1980s. Was in Kisumu, and then I was looking both after Nyanza and Western provinces. And I still remember a time we were tendering. That's the government for government business, petroleum business. And we were competing, all companies were competing. It was 7 oil companies all competing. The tender bid by Shell was not low enough. So the chairman of the tender board, the DC, rang and said that Shell representative must come. And the top guy, he knew me, I didn't know he knew me. So, although the sales rep is the one who had gone, they wanted the area manager. So I had to go in the afternoon. When I went, and the whole board was there, they said, we don't like your bid. It's not good enough. And although others have beaten you, we want to give you a second chance. So that you can still supply our business. We like your service, but not your quotation. And then I thought, okay, what do? I have to consult Nairobi. I had given the very best authority I had. So I told them, I'll come back, let me consult. When I rang Nairobi, my boss, he said, don't you know, government is not a good payer. We cannot improve the rate we gave. So I was very embarrassed to go back to the tender board to tell them I cannot even improve even by 5 cents. And I thought, that sounds rude. But I didn't have authority to, it's not my business. So I went back and told them that. And so now the issue is the tender board had to decide whether to still give me the business or give share of the business or me. You know what the chairman of the tender board said? I know you people have been complaining about lack of integrity by the people who have been supplying various departments in government. If you want that matter sorted out, please give it. This manager is the only one who can ensure you stop having integrity. You, chairman. Am I communicating? So when God gives you an opportunity to be the secretary of the outreach committee, to be something, remember he is giving you a privilege that's going to reverberate until I'm 70 years. I became 70 last year. And it will be there continuously. So for God to make you a leader, there is something he wants to do with your life. Not just in campus, but after campus. Second privilege. When you are the leader, And I've already given two. I hope you have noted the two. Number one, when you become a leader, it helps you to be at a position where temptations are less. Because a lot of people, when, for example, you are a girl, and people are looking for a girlfriend, and you are beautiful, once they know you are a leader, and people are trying, that girl is beautiful, let me go for her. Say, leave her alone. This is a CEO leader. You can't, Wezi. Don't even bother trying. You don't know how many boys, crooks, you have been protected from by becoming a CEO leader. Sisters, are you hearing? Yes. And of course, I'm talking like brothers are any better. But you need to understand, when a sister is on your case, not a sister without some letters, a sinner. Now, when a sinner is on your case, she says, you know, young men who got to see you are the kind of people you'd want for husbands. Until they come and discover you're one of the leaders. Say, acha, that kind of a boy, he is unable to remove the middle R. You know, the word brother, when you remove the middle R, you become, do you know how to spell the word brother? When you remove the middle R out of brother, what do you become? Yeah. So non-Christians after brothers. But you need to understand, all of that is sorted out simply by you becoming a Christian. Then I have told you, by becoming a Christian, it gives you a network that will work continuously even after that. The third reason is that you are being offered a training, and you don't even know it's a training. You know, you come out of campus, and you are in a business meeting, and they say, Atieno, you are the one to write minutes. Since you are born, you have never written, but they don't even train you. They expect you to write. But if you are the secretary of the outreach committee, so you have written many minutes. You did not know you had a training. After you write your minutes, everyone says, nobody else should be writing minutes. Only Atieno should be writing minutes. But all was the training of you becoming a leader. And many things I do, I was taught by being a leader in the Christian union. I can go on, but have I communicated those three privileges? There are three challenges of you becoming a leader. You know, the word of God says that let few of you be teachers, or rather leaders. Why? Because you will be judged with a higher judgment. Have you read that in the Bible? So that tells you, if you never became a leader, you could have gone to heaven. Your standard would have taken you to heaven. By becoming a leader, the standard was, so some of you will go to hell only because you became a leader. So you can't behave. You know, you are doing something, then you say, brother Otieno, how can you do that? He said, but I'm also a boy. You are not just a boy, you are a leader. So you can't start doing what others are doing. You wear your dress in a certain way, you know, which you think is smart. And somebody comes and says, surely, you are a CEO leader. How can you dress like that? You need to understand that the moment you become a CEO leader, you cannot say, my dress, my choice. The moment you become a leader, my brother, you cannot say, my shirt, my choice. That's the responsibility of becoming a leader. Because the standard is higher. So you can't call yourself a leader and you are living like everybody else. It will be important that that is well sorted out, that you understand. So that's very important. Very, very important to understand that. And you know, some of it can be quite intimidating. Like, for example, I left campus and I continued being involved with students. I remember being in Ethiopia. I also, for about 6 years, I used to be in charge of logistics for shell companies in about 10 countries. So I still remember being in Ethiopia on duty, but then I looked for a Kenyan, and I went to visit them. Then there were some people whom I didn't know whether they are Kenyans or Ethiopians. And somebody said, you can't remember me. I was in Kenyatta University. And you know, this week we were listening to you. Where? In Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a very big country. It's about 2 or 3 times Kenya. They were in a corner. She was working for an NGO. And in order to, since they don't understand Amharic, they listen to cassettes which they come with from Nairobi, and they had taken some of my messages. They were listening to them. So both of us are meeting in Ethiopia. I say, hiya, I see you here. And we are listening to you this week on Sunday. Now, can you imagine if in meanwhile I have backslidden and you are meeting in Ethiopia? Are you getting the message? You need to understand the moment you choose to be a leader, you not only have to be a Christian here, even many years to come, non-Christians are watching you and they are expecting you to still be the Christian girl they left. That's okay. Do you know that one? That girl used to be hot in the Christian Union. Now we are dancing together. Now, you need to understand. You need to understand the moment you enter into leadership, it will be important to understand that it follows you. On the positive side, we said it gives you a network. On the other side, it gives you challenges in case you do something wrong. Thirdly, and importantly, by becoming a leader, you don't have the freedom of association. You know what everybody has? You know, when I became chairman, and I know this, I'm dealing with a topic nobody invited me to talk on. My topic just now is the privileges and responsibilities of leadership. That's an additional bonus. It was not part of your program. May I continue? Okay. And it's very important to understand. The moment you become a Christian leader, like I did in 1975, the moment they approached me to become the new University CU chairman, what I heard God say is that I cannot know who I will marry when I'm in campus. That was the cost of becoming CU chairman. My friend, if you are CU chairman and hunting at the same time, something will suffer. Either the hunting or the CU. Am I communicating? You cannot be the chairman of the outreach committee and you want to woo one of the sisters in the same committee. There will be fireworks. You know, all you need as a CU chairman is to show interest in a certain sister. All other sisters in the committee will be very careful in case they are accused of competing. So the work of God will suffer and you are the cause. Am I making sense? Yeah, because people think, you think you have the freedom. Take that freedom on your way to hell. It's very important, very important to understand that by agreeing to be a CU leader, you may need to delay when you know who you are going to get married to. Because by trying to sort out that matter at the same time with leadership, the work of God will suffer. And the work of God cannot suffer with no consequence. Do you agree with me? So it's important for you to understand. Anyway, if I go on like that, I will not cover my topic. I better stop there. But does that make sense? Yeah, so count it a privilege to be in leadership. But please accept it is a responsibility to be in leadership. And it will be very important. What I've been asked to discuss is the issue of integrity. I have written 3 books on the topic, which you can refer to. Integrity, the responses of good leadership. Recently, I wrote another book called Work Ethics, and I wrote another one called Stewardship. A leader as a steward. All of them are talking about the whole issue of being a man of integrity. And it's a very important thing for us to deal with for several reasons. Number one reason is because it's a requirement of the scriptures. You cannot claim to be a Christian and at the same time you are not a person of integrity. But let me first of all define what is integrity. Integrity has the same root as the word integer. 3.5, is that an integer? You do mathematics, am I right? Is it a whole number? No. What about 5? Is that an integer? Yes. So when you talk about an integrity, is a person who is whole, not a half. So when we talk about a man of integrity, he is complete. He is not two people in one. And it's a very important to understand, because a man of integrity, three things follow automatically. Once you meet a man of integrity, immediately you trust them. Because you know what you see is what you get. Am I communicating? And that's what's expected of every Christian. Number two, if you see a man of integrity, you are sure he is not just thinking of himself, he is thinking of the people he is with. And thirdly, if you're a man of integrity, you do not ever have to have a good memory. You know, if you have no integrity, I meet you like I met Everton in Pwani with all the heat there. I ask you, where do you come from? And you say, I come from Caromaido. Oh, is it? Okay. Now, and you are lying. Now, I meet you in Eldoret. I still ask you, Everton, where do you come from? You scratch. What did I tell him last time? People with no integrity need a very good memory. But when you have integrity, if I wake you up, where do you come from? Caromaido. You sleep. Hey, where do you come from? You cannot be anywhere but Caromaido. Now you need to understand the word of God expects you to have a simple life. People with integrity, their life is simple. They have nothing to complicate. When you meet a man of integrity and he wants to marry you, he will tell you, by the way, when I was in Form 3, I got a son. So if you come to me, it will be double, me and him. And you are saying so early, the girl will drop you quickly. But because of your integrity, you cannot make her assume something other than. Okay, so I'm assuming you are from Western Kenya. And Western Kenya is where you have boys who have children. Now, if you come from Central, you have girls with children. You are busy wooing her. Could bet she is double. Now, she is herself and a girl back home. And she's not telling you because she has no integrity. People of integrity do not want you to think they are different from who they are. Because they are whole. What you see is what you get. Now, you can see that if this country had integrity, you can see the kind of changes would all end up having. And it's very, very, very important subject. My prayer is that with God's help, we'll become part of that. So integrity refers to that idea of having from the heart a desire to walk by truth. But if ethics, first of all, ethics come from values. If you have values, let me put it differently. If you see somebody behaving in a certain way, it means he has a belief that causes him to behave like that. So behavior, when you want to change people, don't change their behavior. Find out what they actually believe. If you change their belief, even their behavior will change. For example, if you grew up believing women are useless, hopeless, not quite, they never quite grow. That's the way, what the worldview of where you come from are. And I grew up with a grandfather like that. My grandfather believed, I'm assuming there are some people who know Kikuyu. In English, if a woman says something, don't believe it. It can only turn out to be true rarely. That's the Kikuyu theology of women. Now, my grandfather, when he was now about 100 years old, because he died when he was over 100, he fell. He was very old and fell. And of course, with old people, when you fall, you break your bone. He was rushed to the district hospital. Then a woman put the cast. By the way, I had never seen my grandfather ever sick. He lived beyond 100, never slept in a hospital at any time. So this time now he has a broken bone. So they go and put a plaster. Do you know when he went home, he got a knife to break the... So I was rang in Nairobi, because he respected me, to come and talk to him. So when I arrived, I said, Guka, Why are you undoing it? He said, Johnny. He used to call me Johnny. Johnny, a woman, motumia. A woman made it. In other words, if a man had put the plaster, he might heal. But a woman. You see, we are describing behavior. But the problem of my grandfather was not the behavior. It was the belief system. He believed strongly women can never do anything useful. Am I communicating? So one of the things you have to find out of your boyfriend is not his behavior. Because his behavior can be modified, especially when he wants you. Check what his beliefs are. Because the beliefs, he can come average, but finally they will come out. Am I communicating? Yeah. Just like there are some women who believe men never grow. Now, if they don't grow, and you marry the guy, she will still be treating you like her firstborn. Now, you need to understand. You need to check very early what is her real belief. Am I clear? So when you talk about integrity is only possible on the basis of beliefs. What are the things you believe in? And the beliefs is what gives you values. Values are defined as deep-seated beliefs, conceptions of a desirable idea, which influences the selection from available modes, means, ends, and actions. The Boy Scouts of America define values as those things that really matter to each of us. The idea and beliefs we hold as special, caring for others, for example, is a value. So is the freedom to express our opinions. In other words, if you have a seriously deep belief, you will be totally unable to behave differently. Because every time you behave differently, you become very uncomfortable. None of you is a primary school child, so if I speak, I'm talking to adults. Are you adults? Are you? So allow me to talk. A guy was told when he was growing up, was told by his grandfather that the reason why we wait until we are married in order to have sex is because if you have sex before the wedding, you become impotent. And he said, are you serious? Yeah. Just try before the wedding day and you become impotent. So the boy grew to be big. And was now a teenager thinking, these things that others are doing, I can also. And the girl was available. They were just about to do. Then he remembered, I'll become impotent. He shot out of the place. The girl never knew what happened to the boy. When you have a belief, it will stop you doing the wrong thing because you'll be totally uncomfortable. He just became impotent. He was helpless. He ran away. My friend, that's why if you want integrity, what matters are what are our beliefs. What do we believe? Is what will determine whether you are or you are not a man of integrity. Paul Hoffman, in differentiating values and ethics of a leader, concludes, values exist at the core of our nature. They are our core belief system. Ethics are our behavior, which reveal our values. Now, can you see the three words? Integrity is what we are in the inside. And when you say ethics, it's the behavior that comes along. And in between are values. Am I clear? And that's why you need to check what are my beliefs. Don't check what your behavior is. Because behavior